Hi guys, welcome to another Divi Theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we got a fun one for you today. We've got an image here. When I roll over it, it's going to zoom in on a specific spot, and if you click on it, it's going to pop open into a Lightbox. Really easy to do, great little effect. So let's get started. I'm going to enable the Visual Builder. I've got a section here, a blue tab. Inside I've got a row with 2 columns. I'm going to add an image module to my second column here, and we'll do a similar thing. I'm going to roll down. There's an image module. Let's grab an image by simply left clicking on the image field, and I'll pop a similar image in there. Fantastic. Okay. Well, there we have it. We've got our little image in place there. Down below, you can choose whether you want to open it in a Lightbox. I'm going to use that today. You can also, if you want to, link it. So when they click on it, it takes them somewhere. Always best practice, if you're linking to your own site, leave it in the same window. If you're linking off-site, open it in a new tab. But like I say, I'm going to use the Lightbox today, which means it'll pop out into a larger version when somebody clicks on it. Okay, to make this happen today, we're going to do some adjustments to the actual column that it's sitting in. So I'm going to save my changes here. We're going to go into the row, the green tab for the row. Inside the row we've got 2 columns, column 1, column 2. Let's go into column 2 here. What I want to do is, because I'm going to zoom this in, and it's going to get huge, so I don't want it spilling out of this column. So the first thing I want to do is go over to the advanced, down to visibility, horizontal and vertical overflow. I'm going to switch both of those to hidden. That way I can make this image as big as I want to make it, and it's not going to take up a bigger footprint than it is at the moment, as long as I give it a fixed height. So that's our next little task. We want to give it a fixed height on all devices. So still in the advanced, if we go up to the top, we've got custom CSS here. Couple of little lines of code. Don't let that put you off. Any code I write I'll put down below, but it really is simple. All I'm going to do in the main element is I'm going to write height. I think I used 275 pixels. You may have seen it shrank down just a little bit there. If your images are a different size, obviously you're going to want to adjust this part to something that's going to fit your pictures. If I bring that up to say 280, let's take it up to 295. It's going to get full height there, and you can start cutting it back until you start seeing it shrink. So if we go to 85, not much change there. Go to 75. You may have seen that little jump right there, which means we've cut off the bottom of that because we've got the overflow hidden on this column, so it's not showing anything below 275. Now this works perfectly for my desktop, but of course it's not going to work on a tablet or a phone at that height. So common to all Divi modules, if you roll over the dark writing within a module, you'll see some little icons appear. Where there's a little mobile phone type icon, you can click on it, and you can set different values for tablet and phone. So let's check it on a tablet. Yeah, it's a little bit short there. So let's perhaps give it another 100 pixels or so. 275, let's try 375. And as you can see, that's grown. If I take it down to maybe 325, it's cutting it off again. So I think 350, it's okay. 370. Don't need it quite as. What about 365? I think 350 is going to about do it. Yeah, that works for me on tablet. Just move that out of the way so you can see the full thing. And let's have a look on the phone. Obviously we don't need it that big on the phone. So I might take it to maybe 150. Cut it down a bit too much. About 175. Yeah, aspect ratio, I think that's about right for me on phone. So we've got it there on a phone, looks fine. Got it here on a tablet, aspect wise, that looks fine. And back to desktop. Yeah, works perfectly. Great. Well, let's save our column now. We can go back into the actual image itself and create the hover effect. I'm going to save the column, I'm going to save the main row settings. We'll go back into our image here. To create the zoom effect, I'm going to go to my design. If we roll down to the bottom, you're going to find transform. And this is common to all Divi modules also. If you click on it, we've got scale, which will make it bigger and smaller. We're going to use that. We've got transform translate, which is going to move. You can rotate, you can skew, and you can transform origin. Transform origin is the point around which it rotates. So let's zoom it to about, I don't know, 2.5 times the size, 250%. Whatever works for you. That's about right. You can slide, you can type in a value, and you can increment up and down with the little sliders here. There's a little chain here that if it's highlighted, it'll do both sides at once for you, width and height. If you want to make it crazy, then you can uncheck that and do different values for each. That works for me. But what I kind of like is sort of zooming in to somewhere that's pretty nondescript. I'd rather it zoomed into a face or something like that. So we can do that with a bit of transform translate next door here. Now before I go any further, I only want this to happen when we hover over it. At the moment it's going to be like that all the time. So let's undo this. And common to all Divi modules, if you do something you don't like it, simply select it, delete it, it'll go back to the default for you. So I like that 250, but let's actually go up and again hover over the dark writing. This time we're going to use the arrow instead of the little phone, and we can create a hover state. Desktop, I want it to be just like it is there. When we hover over it, that's where I want my 250. Great. But like I say, it's sort of zooming into an area that we don't really know what that is. I'd rather it was on the face. So if we go over to transform translate next door, I can move it across, up, down, left, right, however you want, till that face comes into view. So we've actually got something to look at when it zooms in. And if you've got a particular object, you can actually zero right in on it. And we've done videos on that before. So I think that's going to work for me. The next thing I really want to do, and then we're going to be done, is the time it takes to go from desktop to zoomed in state. By default with Divi is 300 milliseconds. I like to slow it down for a bit of drama. So if we go over to the advanced tab, we can go down to transitions. There's the default 300 milliseconds. I'm going to take mine up to maybe 1.2 seconds or 1200 milliseconds. Don't want any delay, want it to happen as soon as they put their mouse over it. Transition speed curve. I like to use ease in, ease out for mine, for my hover effects anyway. That way when they take their mouse off, it eases back out again. So if we've done everything correctly, we should be good to go. We're in the zoom state at the moment. Once I save and save the page changes and refresh, it'll go back. There we go. Let's go down, hit the little purple button, save draft or publish if you're ready, and exit the Visual Builder. Great, well here's our little page. There's the first one we did, and our second one. Again, it's going to zoom in on that face. When I let go, it's going to pop back. Now one thing I've just noticed, it's got this crazy long nonsensical number right here. That's actually the name of the image itself. If you want to get rid of that, I'll show you how to do that in a second. Really easy. But apart from that, that's working perfectly just as we wanted it to do. And of course, if you click on it, it's going to pop out into a lightbox because that's what we selected in the image. Okay, well let's just quickly get rid of that crazy number that pops up there. I'll enable the Visual Builder again. Let's pop down to our little image module. We'll go in there. Again, if we go over to the advanced, in the attributes, there's that crazy number. Now you can call it, you can put put it whatever you want in there. And then when you hover over it, it's going to say that. Or if you don't want anything at all, simply select it, delete it. Just going to have the plain pointer icon. Great, so we're good to go. Let's save that. X out again. And there we have it. And that's a great little feature to have on your desktop site. It'll work fine on tablet and mobile too, obviously, but they'll have to tap on it rather than just zoom. If you're mousing around a site and this sort of thing happens, it tends to get your attention pretty quickly, which is what you want. So there you go, guys. There's how to create an image, zoom, contain with a Lightbox effect. Like I say, really easy, nice little effect. And don't forget, I'll put that little bit of code down below. You can modify it to your needs. I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, pop them below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you, or make a demo video. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.